Welcome to Her Imprint, part of the Impressions Exchange. I'm Denise Gustafson, your host. This podcast celebrates the remarkable women who are transforming the printing industry. We'll explore their journeys, from challenges to triumphs, and share the stories that leave a lasting imprint. Today, I have with me Elissa Decker. She's the Vice President of Global Procurement and Textile Development with Moss Incorporated. So, Elissa, welcome.
Hey, Denise, thanks so much. Happy to be here.
I am so interested to hear your story and your journey. But I guess to get us started, can you tell us a little bit about Moss?
Yeah, we are here in Chicago. This is our global headquarters. We are a manufacturer of tension fabric structures. We think of ourselves as place makers. We work in the exhibit and event industry and also retail, sports. And we have another location in Oregon. We have operations in the UK, Poland, and Germany.
That is awesome. That kind of keeps you busy.
I feel busy.
So, global procurement and textile development. So, what does that mean for you on a day to day basis?
Yeah, I have a little bit of a maybe non-traditional background. I studied textiles in college and kind of got on this pathway that led me to Moss. I started in the company doing research and development and really helping to develop our fabrics or source fabrics involved with quality. And then that evolved over time to working with the procurement department. And then that evolved over time to me leading our procurement department for all of Moss globally. So it's got this combination of textile development background, which is still a very big part of my role, but applying everything that I've learned through supply chain and procurement from textiles to all of the things that we purchase.
So, the last few years have been fun for you in supply chain, haven't they?
It's been a real learning experience. I think no one has been prepared for what supply chain has gone through over the past years. From, of course, COVID was quite difficult, but then the coming out of COVID was almost even more difficult than COVID itself. And of course, there's new challenges in the present right now. Tariffs are a big topic. We purchase globally, and there's a lot of things to really keep track of. And it's really important to know what's going on in the world.
For you, you're a global company. You said you have locations in Europe. And even when you're talking about procurement, the regulations in Europe are different than the US. So, knowing what the laws and regulations are at a given moment for whatever your locations are must be, I can't even imagine what that challenge is like, honestly.
I'm always learning something new, Denise. That is what the challenge is like.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the college. So you said you were in textile development in college. So I guess my question is, what were you thinking about doing when you went into college originally?
It was actually a textile design program, and I was thinking about making fabric.
Okay.
My journey into textiles really started in high school when I was taking the highest math classes, the highest science classes, AP, everything I could get my hands on. In my senior year, I had some extra time in my coursework and took some art classes, and I really found that I enjoyed that and got into this. Wow, I want to make something, search for a career. And that led me to the Philadelphia College of Textiles and Science, where I got into the textile department and saw yarn of every color stacked from floor to ceiling and thought, oh, this is what I want to do. Got into the textile program, and I was actually a knitting concentration. The curriculum there is really what a textile engineer would learn today. So, of course, there were design courses, but also there were a lot of technical classes on construction of both knitted and woven fabrics, yarn making, dyeing and finishing, testing. And from there, I went to work at a textile mill in North Carolina. At the textile mill, I was there for almost 6 years. It was really a great experience to learn manufacturing. The company that I worked for had all of the knitting and finishing equipment, dyeing equipment in-house so I could see the fabrics being made, and I worked in the R&D department there and had a really great experience of really learning manufacturing, learning how the testing is so important in the manufacturing, seeing the quality control going on there, also seeing the fabrics knit, see them get finished. And we actually had rotary screen printing as
Okay.
well. That was my first taste of printing. And then from there, somehow found Moss. Moss found me or something
A
weird.
little bit of both, maybe? That's interesting because now were you doing was it commercial fabrics, so like upholstery and draperies, or was it more on the clothing and apparel side, or was it both?
It was actually more clothing and apparel. So we
Okay.
did fine gauge knitted textiles, mostly used for activewear, swimwear, and intimate apparel. There were also automotive and medical fabrics as well. So it was quite technical.
Yeah.
My role in R&D was a fabric designer. So I actually did a lot of pattern work and basically knitted patterns or printed patterns. I actually did a lot of florals
Oh,
quite early in my career.
very cool. Now, I have to say that's the first time I've heard anybody come from that side of the business, so really interesting. So I guess for you, did you have a moment when you moved over to Moss and now you're doing a little bit different work? You're still in R&D at that point, but it's different. When you realized that the printing industry and what you were doing, including the procurement, was really your place. Because, like you said, when you walked into college, you saw that wall of yarn, you said, "This is what I wanna do." But did you have that moment again as you were moving through your career, knowing that you were on the right track?
Yeah, I did. One thing that I struggled with in the manufacturing of textiles was the timing for projects was so long. And that's how it is, that it does take a long time to develop a new fabric often. But gosh, I feel like, oh, I've been working on this for a year. And when I got into the printing industry with Moss, one thing I really loved was the pace. It is so different. It is so fast. There is a lot of pressure, but it really challenged me. And every day I feel is different. I've worked here for 17 years and I kind of like coming in and not knowing what I'm going to work on, but there's always some new challenge or new goal that we're trying to accomplish. And the projects, some things can last for a year, but very often we need to do this impossible thing and we have 3 weeks or 2 months or 2 days.
So let's say you do 6 impossible things by lunch. That seems to be what it is almost.
Yeah, I think it's really the pace that has attracted me and kept me never bored.
You continue to learn, like you said earlier. You learn something new every day, probably tasked with different projects every day. There's different timelines for everything. I know in the printing industry, you would love to say that, oh, you had months to create something. And maybe in some cases, people are really good about their marketing plans and they have their product delivery plans out for a year, but that's not usually the case. And usually the marketing dollars, which is what a lot of printers end up tapping into, is those are all last minute. They need it yesterday.
There's a lot of need it yesterday
Yeah.
to go around here. Yeah.
Now, you came from manufacturing and now you're still in manufacturing, even though it's print manufacturing, it's a little different. But I'm guessing that it was probably pretty much a male-dominated role even in North Carolina when you were in, like, a full manufacturing facility.
Yes, I think that's fair to say, and I think a lot of industries, I don't know if it's unique to textiles, I don't know if that's unique to printing, I think it's just felt that way. I've been lucky to have some really great mentors or examples in leadership throughout my career of women
Mhm.
leadership, and that's been something that's helped me see my path.
I was gonna say, how important is it for you to have people in C-suite roles, especially as you were starting? When you started, you have a whole path. Like you said, you had different advancements through when you were at Moss, but how important was it for you to have those mentors and those women in those C-suite roles for you?
I think quite important. You always want to walk into a room and feel like you belong there, and seeing certainly my boss, who is a woman in the C-suite here at Moss, Sarah Browning, that's good. It feels good, and it also sets an example for great leadership and what that looks like. And it's often women too. Yeah.
Definitely. Now, when you were just out of college and you went to North Carolina, what was it like for you as a woman to go into a mostly male-dominated and to not feel awkward or out of place? I don't know what the makeup of even your
Yeah.
department was at that point.
Yeah, it was outside of Charlotte, which at the
Mhm.
time was quite rural, and it was a smaller town, even farther outside of Charlotte. I definitely, Denise, went through culture shock. I think moving there and working in the manufacturing plant, it was very different than where I grew up. It was very different from where I went to school. And it was quite good old boys, I think,
Mhm.
in many cases.
Was there things that you did maybe for yourself that helped you maybe not necessarily fit in, but feel more comfortable in that situation?
I think that I had a lot of support in terms of people that I worked with that were willing to teach me and help bring me along in all of the different areas of the plant and manufacturing. I was able to actually work on the knitting machines and run knitting machines. I don't want to say completely by myself, but I could go in and run trials and program the machine to put in new patterns. And if a yarn broke, I knew how to fix it or how to get the lycra or spandex back in. I think the hands-on aspect of it was something that allowed me to feel more plugged in that situation and the getting to make things.
And the fact that you had somebody to be able to take you under their wing and you could learn. That's for any workplace, no matter where we are. Even like you said right now, your boss is in the C-suite, still a really good mentor to you, but you've come a long way in your career at this point.
Thanks, Denise. It's hard to take that step back and recognize that, but I guess I'm just getting that perspective here on
Yeah.
our call.
Achieve color consistency, efficiency, and precision with G7 Plus certification, the industry's gold standard for color management. Whether you're in packaging, commercial print, or digital production, G7 Plus ensures neutral gray balance and visual consistency across all applications, helping you reduce waste and improve quality. And getting certified has never been easier. Choose from live in-person training for hands-on experience, live online training for real-time learning from anywhere, or on-demand training for flexible, self-paced education. No matter your schedule, there's a G7 Plus certification option for you. Printing United Alliance members save 20% on all courses and certifications. Stay ahead of the curve, view training options, and get certified at printing.org/G7 Plus.
Now, you've been at Moss for how many years?
I think it will be 17 coming up in October.
Congratulations, first off.
Yes. Time
So
flies, really.
it does fly. Well, especially when you're as busy as you are and you have so many challenges throughout the day. Of course, it's going to fly. Now, for you, you said you had so many different positions at Moss. Looking at women as a whole, maybe beyond Moss in the industry, because as we know, printing does tend to be a little bit on the male dominated side. No matter what company you go into, no matter what woman I talk to, they all can nod and say, yeah, there's a lot. It can be a very much an old boys network. Do you think there's things that companies today can do to help foster an environment that encourages more women to start looking at print as a viable career opportunity?
Yeah, I do. I actually think the Women in Print group is quite remarkable. And I think my impression is from the moment that they started, it's just really taken off and the membership is flourishing,
Mhm.
I guess. It just seems like this aha of, yeah, we do want to recognize our participation in this industry and we have similar experiences and also want to celebrate that
Mhm.
we're here and how can we all together move forward. So I think having this type of group is a big step in letting women know that this can be a good career path or industry to enter. I'd really say women in print. That's a big step in the right direction.
Thank you for that, since I'm part of it as well. So thank you. And I think also the group helps to show other women within the industry that women have been here. They've pioneered in some cases. Maybe they were the first in the C-suite for a company, or maybe they're the first press operator. It shows that there are paths within the industry, whether you are more technical and want to be more hands-on, or maybe you do want to go into the management and into people management and working with people. There's so many different things that you can do. If you want to make things and be hands-on, you can be.
Yeah. It's really wonderful to be able to walk out into production and just see everything get put together and the final products. There's just a huge amount of pride that I think everyone here at Moss feels in seeing the finished product and seeing where it goes from here too.
Yeah, exactly. To be able to go to some kind of special event pop up and you see something that you will have touched.
Yeah.
That's something that I've heard from a number of people, the pride of work.
Yeah. And people, myself included, will tell their families. It sometimes can be quite exciting, the things that we get to work on.
Yeah. Things that you can't tell until they're actually out
That's
in the wild.
that's right. That's right.
Yes, I've been at some shops and they're like, "Oh, yes, we do this or that," but you can't really say anything about that. I understand it's tough, but it is exciting for those that are working as part of those projects, especially if they're big names or big studios in the entertainment field. It's very cool to be able to be part, even if it's just a little bit of it. It's exciting to be part of things that are much bigger than yourself.
Yeah, absolutely.
In the printing industry, I know you've mentioned one of the things that was really important to you was the mentorship that you experienced throughout your career in the various positions that you've held. How can we better implement systems like that
Yeah.
to help women, to help men, to help anyone in the industry, really help them succeed? Is there a way, or should we be putting in place more of these kind of mentorship programs? Or some of them end up being very ad hoc. They're just catch as catch can. Sometimes they're a little bit more structured. I don't know what's better.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea to formalize that process. I feel very lucky that I really had someone I feel lucky that I had someone to talk to and bounce ideas off of. And also, that would give me different perspectives on ideas. Not everyone has that or gets that. And I think there's a lot of people that probably exist that are willing to do that and want to do that, but maybe also don't have the outlet or find someone that wants that mentorship. So maybe there is some kind of connection opportunity that needs a little lifting out there.
A little push here and there, right?
Yeah, I think that would be great. Women in print, if you're listening.
I know it's on our agenda, but it is weird. You might want to, you have experience, you might have some time in the industry. Do you just walk up to some random person within your company and say, "Hi, would you like to be mentored?" That kind of is a little weird.
Yeah, it is. I think it often starts or is more productive when it is a personal relationship too,
Yep.
less formal, because for a mentorship to be really successful, I think there has to be the willingness to open up and to make mistakes, to ask dumb questions.
I always say there's never a dumb question
I like to think that too.
because honestly, sometimes the dumb questions is where I learn the most.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think it is sometimes hard to have that freedom to ask someone.
It's hard to be vulnerable sometimes to admit that you don't know something.
Yeah. That is it.
And for women, that's probably doubly because there's always the imposter syndrome too that kind of layers in. And then do you want to admit you don't know something? How is that going to impact? How am I going to look?
Yeah. Am I good enough? Do
Yeah.
I belong here? Did I do that right? I think there is a lot of background questioning that we all have. And it's part of that mentorship. I think the importance is to talk you through that and to know that, yeah, everyone has these kind of background questions, but you just get through them. There's always that next level, and those questions help you get there, I
Yeah,
think.
definitely. Now, I know one of the things that the industry as a whole has been struggling with is getting young people in the industry. It's an older industry.
Where are they?
Yeah, where are they? That's the question. How do we find them?
I don't know. I think this is a huge topic in the industry and through all of the departments. I think it's so easy to say, oh, reach out to the schools, but everything feels quite disconnected. I don't know how you reach those target young people. It can be challenging. Actually, our location in the UK has been quite successful at this. They have a really unique program there. It's an apprenticeship that they are bringing in younger people that work there for a certain amount of time, and they're learning at the company. And I think that's actually probably the best example I've seen of success in bringing young people into the industry. So maybe we just copy that everywhere.
That'd be awesome. I always kid. I'm like, no kid when they're 5 years old says, I want to grow up and be a printer. What do they usually say? They want to be a firefighter. They want to be maybe a doctor, like a parent. It's what they see around them.
Yeah, I think printing is almost like, in some ways, this invisible industry where you print all day long without even recognizing it. And not us, Denise, because that's all we can see is
Yes.
print.
And I go and look at all the seams and everything. And I'm like, how well did those installers make those seams? Yes, I understand.
But for the rest of every single other person, just kidding. But people just don't realize how print is touching them and their lives every single day. So I think that when I have the conversation of, oh, here's what I do, I work for this company that
Mhm.
prints fabric graphics. What's a fabric graphic? And oh, that, yeah, I see those all the time. There's this discovery. Yes, like a light bulb. And it's until you talk about it or mention it, it seems fairly invisible.
I
So,
agree. My husband's an accountant. I'll give you a perfect example. We got married 7 years ago. Before that, he was like, "What do you do? Cover what?" And he's been to some of the trade shows now
uh-huh.
with me. He now recognizes print, like, in the wild. And I
Yes.
think it's just so funny
Uh,
for him because he's print's everywhere. And it was like that light bulb moment.
Thank
I'm
you,
like,
Denise. It's so
"Yes, it is." But it's do we need to do this, like, with every single solitary person on the planet? That's gonna take a while. So, we need to learn how to scale it a little bit better.
There was some statistic, I don't know, read, or maybe it came up in one of the meetings. I'm on the sustainability board for Printing United. Maybe it came out of there, but there was some statistic that was like, there are more workers in the print industry than in the automotive industry. And
Yep.
that was just hard to wrap my mind around. Yeah. But I guess that's what you need to have print everywhere is
Yeah.
print workers everywhere.
Yeah, I think the last statistic I saw, this is based from the US Census Bureau. If you include all print activities, sign shops, copy shops, packaging, once you start layering all of these things together, the industry just in the US is, I want to say $310 billion. Dollars.
That's a
Billion
lot.
with a B. That's a lot. That's a huge industry. I would actually have to go and look and see how those other industries stack up, but when you think of that figure, how many people does that industry support? From the people that are doing the manufacturing, from the people that are selling it, all of the different aspects of print, because as we know, print's everywhere. But we
Yeah.
just need to convince everybody else that this is the career that you need to be doing. So, my favorite question, and one that I ask at the end of all of my podcasts, is knowing what you know now. So, based on your experience in the manufacturing side of textiles to what you're doing at Moss now, your years, if you were just starting today, if you were literally walking in fresh-faced, brand new, what would you tell yourself?
Wow, Denise. I guess I would tell myself, get ready for a lot of things you can't even imagine. It's going to be hard, but you're going to have a lot of fun.
And just to hang on.
Hang on, and you're going to learn something new probably every single day. And just get ready to not know what's going to happen next.
And that's the fun of it. Alyssa, it was a pleasure talking with you today. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciated our time.
Thanks, Denise. Great to talk with you.
Thank you for joining us on this journey to celebrate and amplify the voices of women in the printing industry. If you have a story to share or know someone whose journey deserves to be highlighted, we'd love to hear from you. Together, let's continue inspiring and empowering the next generation of leaders. Until next time, keep leaving your imprint. This is Her Imprint. See you soon.